حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا اللهم ربنا الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة اسمك
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. قال تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة دلالة وكل دلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد، يا عباد الله، إخوتي وأخواتي في الإسلام، أوصيكم وإياي بالتقوى فإن الله مع المتقين. O servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I exhort and advise you and myself to strive for the quality of taqwa فإن الله مع المتقين. And this effort, brothers and sisters, of striving for this quality is not ala iradatina. It's not according to our desire. It's a commandment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of the worlds. And in the ayat that I have just recited, which we learned from the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, that he used to recite these ayat on the occasion of the Friday khutbah. And indeed, in any auspicious occasion, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam would refer to these ayat from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, each of them establishing the commandment from Allah, ittaqillah, be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as is the right of Allah. A commandment given to whom? The people of Iman. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. A commandment given to whom? To the human beings in general. Ya ayyuhan nas. that this command, brothers and sisters, to establish the taqwa is the most often repeated command in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran, of course, we are commanded to establish the salah. We are commanded to pay the zakah. We are commanded to fast in the month of Ramadan. We are commanded to perform the hajj wa umrah lillah. But indeed, the most often repeated command in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the commandment to establish the taqwa, the recognition, the understanding, the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based upon the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in His book, in the understanding, the teaching, and the practice of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. This is what it means to be a Muslim. وَلَا تُمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And do not die except that you are in a state of Islam. Nobody knows when they're going to die. وَلَا تَدْرِ نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَحْسَبُ غَدًا. No soul knows what is going to happen tomorrow or even in the next moment. وَلَا تَدْرِ نَفْسٌ فِي أَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. And no soul knows where is going to be the time, the place, the mode of the death. هَذَا عِلْمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. This is knowledge is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in His book, He commands us in His book that do not die except that you are in the state of Islam. So that means, brothers and sisters, that we have to make that effort perpetually, deliberately, every day. That I want to live my life in a state of Islam. And in order for us to accomplish that, we have to have the quality of taqwa. We have to have the quality of iman. Iman, brothers and sisters, is something that I think perhaps myself and many of us, perhaps sometimes we take it for granted. We think that iman is belief, that we believe in Allah. But subhanallah, this is not the totality of iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in His book, what? وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُ. Allah said in His book regarding the mushrikeen of Mecca that if you ask them who created the heavens and the earth, what's going to be their reply? سَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُ. They will say Allah. They believed in Allah. They believed Allah was the Khaliq. But is that the iman that is going to save them from the hellfire? وَيَعْذُ بِاللَّهِ. It will not save them from the hellfire. That recognition, that acknowledgement that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens and the earth, that this is not the totality of iman. And indeed, when we say that we have believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we answer to the nida, to the call in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, then this call is indeed for those whom they are striving to perfect their iman, al-muhsineen. Those whom they are striving for excellence in every aspect of their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because everything in their lives, it is based upon their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the taqwa. So when we think about this term, iman, brothers and sisters, let us not limit ourselves to the sitta arkan of iman, to the 6 pillars of iman. And of course, yes, this is the base, this is the foundation, this is the crux. And tu'min billahi wa malaika, that we believe in Allah and His angels, in His books and His messengers, in the last day and in the qadr, khayrihi wa sharrihi. Yes, all of us, we learn this. If we accept Islam in a mature age, we learn it early on. If we are born by the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into a Muslim family, then bi'idhnillah, it's something we learn as children. But we have to understand that this is not the totality of iman. That iman, it permeates every fabric of the believer. Indeed, the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned an authentic narration on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He said that the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Iman bid'un wa sab'una or bid'un wa sittuna shu'ba. He said that the Iman is 70 some odd or 60 some odd parts. قال المحدثين رحمه الله, the scholars of hadith, they say that we should recognize that this uncertainty, 70 some odd or 60 some odd, is not on the part of the Prophet ﷺ, but on the part of the Rawi, on the part of Abu Hurairah. He wasn't sure which one the Prophet ﷺ said. In any case, it's not limited to 6 things. And then the Prophet ﷺ continued in the hadith by saying, Afdaluha, and the most much virtuous expression of Iman, Qawlu la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah. The recognition that there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that none is worthy of worship except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَدْنَاهَا إِمَاتَةً أَذَى أَنِ الطَّرِيقِ أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. And the least expression of Iman, something as simple, as mundane, as removing something that may be harmful from the way of the people. You walking in the street, you saw a broken bottle, you removed it. Nobody will step on it. Nobody will cut themselves. You picked up a nail out of the street. Nobody will not pierce anyone's tire. That this should be an expression of Iman. And between those two, 70 some are facets of Iman that we learn about them in the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. So when we establish the belief that verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the Razik, He's the Khaliq, and huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, and when we establish the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wahdahu la sharika lah, and in the belief in His angels, in His books, in His messengers, in the last day, in the qadr, khayrihi wa sharrihi. Yes, indeed, this is the foundation of our aqeedah. This is, mashallah, the crux of our Iman. But this is what leads us to truly recognize and understand that recognizing and internalizing those things has an effect on every aspect of our being. Therefore, the Prophet ﷺ, he told us in many narrations, La yu'minu ahadakum, that one of you will not believe. In none of those narrations do we find mention the sitta arkan of Iman. We don't find those things mentioned. But we find the things mentioned where they are in front of us every single day. La yu'minu ahadakum hatta yuhibba li akhihi ma yuhibba li nafsi. That one of you will not believe until he loves for his brother, his sister, what he loves for himself. Ba'd al-ulama, hafidhum rahimahullah, they mentioned that the connotation here is your brother, your sister in Islam. And of course, naturally. But some of them include that your brother, your sister in humanity. Because the Prophet ﷺ was sent as what? Rahmatan lil alameen. He was sent as a mercy for all the worlds. Not just for the Arab, not just for the people of Hijaz or Jazirat al-Arab, or what we commonly call the Muslim world, but for every human being. Every human being from the time of the Risala of the Prophet ﷺ until Yawm al-Qiyamah. That message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the Prophet ﷺ and entrusted to him, the message of the Quran, the message of being the most excellent role model for mankind, is a message for every human being from that day until Yawm al-Qiyamah. And as a Muslim, it is part and parcel of our Iman that we should love to see every human being embrace that message, even though it's not in our hands. Al-Hidayah fi yadillah. Yahdi man yasha ila siratil mustaqim. But does that mean that we write people off? Did the Messenger ﷺ, did he write anybody off and say, oh, forget these people? No. We all know what happened, subhanAllah, when he went to Ta'if. When he went there after being rejected by his own people, when he went there after not getting a good reception with the people, with the Quraysh and those who knew him, those who called him as-Sadiq al-Amin alayhi salatu wasalam, that when he wanted to try somewhere else and see if they would more readily accept the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the message of Tawheed, that what did they do, subhanAllah? They laughed at him, they rejected him, they sent the children to stone him, they ridiculed him. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the opportunity, when he sent the malaika, he sent the angel, and he told him that if you wish, I can destroy this town. I can cause these mountains to come together and crush them, destroy them. Look what they did to you. What was the reply of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam? La, no. I pray that from their progeny will come forth the people that they will say, La ilaha illallah, rahmatan lil alameen. This is Iman, brothers and sisters. This is Iman as it affects us every day in our lives. The Prophet ﷺ said, authentic narration, speaking to his Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, MashaAllah, khayru qarni, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the best generation of human beings, subhanAllah, and Allah knows best, but as it's interpreted by many of the ulama, khayru qarni, the best generation is the generation of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ, and then those that come after them. ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ, and then those that come after them. And that's interpreted by the ulama as being that it is only these three generations that are referenced in the hadith. And some of the scholars, they said that there is a connotation in this hadith that with every succeeding generation, then the quality of Iman, it goes down, it decreases. وَنَسَلَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْعَافِيَةِ. He told these people who they were the best generation. He said to them in this narration, لَا تَدْخُلُوا جَنَّةً حَتَّى تُؤْمِنُوا. He told them, you will not enter the paradise until you believe. Who's he talking to? Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu. Umar, Khattab, radiallahu anhu. Uthman bin Affan, radiallahu anhu. Mubashirin bil Jannah, Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu. The Sahaba. And he's telling them what? You will not enter the paradise until you believe. Is he talking about belief in Allah? Belief in the angels, the books, the messengers, the last day, the qadr? They were the ones that truly understood these things. They learned directly from the Prophet ﷺ. We don't question their Iman, but the Messenger ﷺ is telling them, you will not enter the paradise until you believe. But he continued to explain, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى تُحَابُوا. And you will not believe until you love one another. How many of us consider that as a condition of Iman? How many of us consider that for our own personal, very personal, the entrance into the paradise, our own personal salvation, our own personal success on Yom Qiyamah, that it is directly related to how we love and treat one another? Because this is what the Prophet ﷺ told his Sahaba, that you will not believe until you love one another. Iman. These multi-facets of Iman, brothers and sisters, we should be considering them every single day. Man kana yu'min billahi wa yawmil akhir fayaqul khayran aw liyasmut. Subhanallah. We've heard these hadith. We've heard them. We probably learned them, some of us as children. But do we truly understand, internalize, and take the value of them? Whoever believe in Allah in the last day, let them say what is good or be quiet. Wallahi, very simple. Very simple. How many times we feel we have to make that last statement? We have to get the last word. We have to be the one who shows our intelligence, or shows our prowess. Is this a statement of Iman, wa ya'adhu billah, or is this a statement of kibr, wa ya'adhu billah? Of pride, of arrogance. Brothers and sisters, when we think about Iman and what Iman represents, it's every aspect of our being. And the ulama, hafidhahumullah, they define Iman as a tasdeeq bil-qalb, wa qawlun bil-lisan, wa amal bil-jawari. They define Iman as the belief in the heart, the saying or the statement on the tongue, and the actions with the limbs of the body and with your physical prowess. And indeed, that's true. But when we think about those 6 pillars, then how do they relate to what we are doing every day? Iman is not limited to those things, brothers and sisters. Iman is truly expressed in how we treat our parents, how we treat our spouses, how we treat our siblings, how we treat our brothers and sisters in the masjid, those whom we know and those whom we do not know. The Prophet continued in the hadith by saying, أَفَلَا أَدُلُّكُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ إِذَا فَأَوْتُمُوهُ تَهَابَبْتُمْ. He said, should I not then guide you to something that if you did it, it's going to help you establish this love? That now becomes clear that without this love, your personal success on Yom Qiyamah is threatened. It's directly related to the love in your heart for your brother, your sister in Islam, your brother, your sister in humanity. So the Prophet ﷺ said something very, very simple. Afshu salama bainakum. Increase the spread of peace amongst yourselves. Now some of the ulama, hafidhahumullah, they mentioned that this is reference to the statement, Assalamu alaikum. When you see one another, when you greet each other, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Afshu salama bainakum. Increase the salam amongst yourselves. And some of them, they also mentioned that, of course, it includes that. But afshu salam bainakum, that create an environment of peace, of tranquility amongst yourselves. Why? Because we're having dealings with each other every day. I'm doing business with that one. I'm seeking the daughter of this one in marriage. And someone is coming to me asking for the hand of my daughter. Someone is my child's teacher at school. And that my business, my clients, my profession, whatever it might be, we are dealing with people every single day. And how we deal with them, it should be an expression of our Iman. Iman is not only on Friday in the masjid. Iman is not only in the month of Ramadan. Iman is not only when we raise our hands for takbiratul ihram to perform our salah, but Iman is a state of being, a state of consciousness. And as the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us, yazid wa yankus, that it increases and it decreases. Yazidu bi-ta'ah, it increases with obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It increases with service and sacrifice and dhikr. And it decreases, وَيَذْ بِاللَّهِ, not only with bil-ma'siyah, not only with sin, وَيَذْ بِاللَّهِ, but with indifference and with neglect and with complacency. وَنَسَلَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْعَافِيَةِ. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفروه إن الله لغفور رحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. Brothers, inshallah, I'm going to ask you all to please move forward, close all the gaps. We have brothers that are coming and they are having difficulty finding a spot. As we all know, it's very warm, to say the least, outside. So if they can find a spot, inshallah, inside, inshallah, fiya khayrun ni'mah. Jazakum Allah khayran. Alhamdulillah, alladhi hadani ila din al-Islam. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has guided us to this deen. And this ni'mah of hidayah is one that we have to be in a constant state of shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it's not because of anything that we possess or any qualities that we may think we have. And we're not Muslim because we're smart. We're not Muslim because of our lineage. We're not Muslim because of our financial wherewithal or our educational background, our profession, our language, our nationality. Yahdi man yasha ila siratin mustaqim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it very clear that He guides whomsoever He pleases to the path that is straight. Inna deena inda Allah al-Islam. So the fact that we are here in this place, mashallah, Baytullah, the house of Allah, on this day, Yawm al-Jummah, khayru yawmin tala alayhi shams, the best day on which the sun has risen, at this time, according to the order of Allah and the practice of the Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam, this is a rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Iman, brothers and sisters, is something that we have to work on. It's something that we have to be very deliberate about. It's something that we have to recognize and understand the value. And when we understand that value, then believe me, we will make no qualms about the effort to obtain it, to accumulate it, to protect it, and to grow it. And we know that concept. We know that concept when it comes to what? Our dunya. We know that we have to make effort to obtain it. We have to make effort to protect it. We have to make effort to accumulate it. And we have to make effort to increase it. And illa masha'Allah, very few of us have to be reminded of that fact. We're making that effort every single day. Illa masha'Allah. What about Iman? Are we content to say that I believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, in the last day, in the qadr, khayrihi wa sharrihi, but yet we don't know how to speak to our parents. We don't know how to show love and compassion to our spouses. We don't know how to be true friends and benefactors to our children, not just give them the things of this dunya that they want or deny them the same. We don't know how to show love and compassion to one another. The brother standing there, you give salam to the one next to him, but this one you don't know his face, so you pass him by. Iman, brothers and sisters, is something that we have to work at every single day. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the understanding and the true realization of Iman. Ameen ya Rabb. I'm your brother in Islam, Rafiq Mahdi from Knoxville, Tennessee. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then the administration here for giving me the opportunity to share with you today. Whatever I have shared, anything that is good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any mistakes are from myself. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me for those, and please seek that forgiveness for me from Him as well. I work with an organization called ICNA Relief, ICNA Relief, Islamic Circle of North America Relief, a social services organization working here within the United States of America in the communities where we live. We have offices throughout the country, including here in New Jersey, mashallah, tabarakallah. We are doing many services for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, helping those in need. As when the Prophet ﷺ was asked, Ayyi nas ahabbu ilallah, he replied, Ahabbu nas ilallah anfa'hum linnas. He was asked, alayhi salatu wasalam, which people are most beloved by Allah? And he replied, alayhi salatu wasalam, the most beloved people to Allah are the ones who they bring the most benefit to mankind. So brothers and sisters, this is our mission, to bring benefit to mankind, to do da'wah ilallah, beginning within our own communities and then let it spread to the community at large, where we're neighbors, our fellow citizens. من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فيكرم ضيفه فيكرم جاره. And whoever believe in Allah in the last day, let them honor their guest, let them honor their neighbor. So mashallah, tabarakallah, we are providing housing for Muslim sisters who are facing homelessness. We are helping refugees resettle. We are helping people to feed people. We are providing educational services to people, Muslims and non-Muslims. So we are asking all of you to please join us in this effort. We have a table outside, mashallah, tabarakallah. Brother Hassan is there. Please, any question you have, if you want to, we need your dua, we need your volunteer hours, we need your expertise, and we need to come together and fulfill this commandment from Allah, wa ta'awanu ala birri wa taqwa. That we come together and support and help one another in establishing the bir, the goodness, and the taqwa, and the true understanding and relationship with Allah. وَالنَّسَأَلُ اللَّهَ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى تَقَبَّلَ مِنَّا جَمِيعًا. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم وأموات يا الله إخواننا وأخواتنا يا الله في فلسطين يا الله في غزة يا الله في السودان يا الله في ميانمار يا الله في كشمير يا الله في بنغلاديش يا في اليمن يا الله في سوريا يا أرحم الراحمين يا الله في أفغانستان يا الله في هند في كل مكان في الصين يا الله أنت أعلم بهم يا الله يا الله ثبت أقدامهم يا الله وانصرهم على أعدائك وأعداء الدين فإنك على كل شيء قدير يا الله خذ منهم شهداء يا الله وصبرهم يا الله Ya Allah, and feed those whom they are hungry, Ya Allah, clothe those whom they are in need, Ya Allah, shelter those who are without shelter, Ya Allah, warzuqhum min haythu la yahtasib, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. فإنك أنت على كل شيء قدير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأقيموا الصلاة. Stow, Taraso. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, straighten your lines, close the gaps, shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot. Sallu salat al-mawadda. Make sure the
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله هو. Stow, Taraso. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.